let's start with you. Tell us what's going on.
So the first thing that happened was when he took out the 401k. He took it out to start a real estate business deal, and it trunked. It went bad, and reason why that was so bad was because we had just had a baby. In between that, I had been diagnosed with cancer, and then we had another baby, and then we had to finish up the cancer. So we had all these medical bills that had piled up. The second deal that went bad, or the money thing that went bad that he didn't tell me about, was 2 years ago. He quit his job and didn't let me know. It was like he came home and was like, hey, I gave a 2 weeks notice at my job. And I was like, okay. So that's the two big things, financial things that have happened.
So, Marcus?
Yes.
What, how did this happen?
Well, as the primary breadwinner of our family, sole provider, I take it is my responsibility as a husband, father in our family to make sure I provide, protect, and do any and everything for our family and for our boys. So going into our second year of marriage, preparing for our second son, I figured, hey, I earned some money, got 401k. I've been trying to learn real estate investing. So I was like, I got this money just sitting to the side. Let me put it to some use. So I took that money out of 401k, put it into a real estate deal. That deal totally went left on me. I also had to file for bankruptcy. I had to let go of my investment property, and that foreclosed. It was rough. It's been very hard.
Very hard.
After our third son was born, we figured out it was just best that Cherie would stay home with the kids because the price of daycare, just her check alone was covering daycare and gas just to get back and forth from work. And it's like it wasn't worth the added stress. Cherie would tell me, like, you leave home as one version of Marcus, but you come home totally different, and it's a version that she never wanted to see. So I had to check myself a lot before I even set foot in the door. But it got to a point we were able to sell our house, the house that we were living at the time. We made some money, paid off some bills, but we had a nice little change, and I was like, okay, now I have a nice little cushion. I can take this money and invest into myself and and really go about my real estate business and really focus on it and give it the consistency that it needed. And on my way to a business meeting in Charlotte for my current employer at the time, Steve, your book Jump had just came out. I listened to Jump on that 5-hour drive back home. I completed that thing, and within that week, I mean, you gave me all the motivation I needed.
He said, this is your fault.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. It is all on me. It's all on me. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that. But when you hear things in life, you feel like it's a message directed towards you.
I'm just trying to understand how all of a sudden this interview was on the way to Charlotte, you had already made up your mind. You're
right.
Had took this money off this real estate at the sale of this house. You was going.
Yeah.
You was already going. Don't put this on Jump now.
I didn't. I'm not putting it on Jump. But...
All right, let's start talking about where Marcus went wrong.
Yeah.
When he started this business. Now, Farnoosh, what do you think Marcus went wrong?
I encourage you to want to continue this ambition, but it's really important that you take care of your household finances first, that they are lock solid, so that you could do this business with more sense of, I can take some risks and fall, yeah, I will, but my house is going to not crumble as a result of it.
What are some of the tips that you could give Marcus?
Mm-hmm. So the first tip, and I love this tip, I think everyone will appreciate this, is that you don't need a lot of money to start a business. You cashed out your 401k, not necessary. The most important thing in the beginning is to invest your time, and that's free. There are also, speaking of free, resources out there for you to latch onto. The SBA has resources, free online classes. SCORE is also an organization around the country. They have an office in Atlanta. You can actually go in and get a coach who will work with you. So invest time, not money. Secondly, keep your day job. You want to give yourself the bandwidth to try to experiment and take on some risk without really compromising the home life. And then last but not least, really create a divide between the personal life and the business life. Have your own checking account, savings account, as well as credit card. Same for the business. But all the while, where you really need to be aligning is the communication. You both need to be understanding what's happening on both sides. And if in the event your business needs more money and you need to take it from your savings, how's that gonna work? What's that gonna look like? Have that conversation.
Okay, let's go to spirit. Now, they say that they're on the brink of divorce. The question to you is, can their marriage be saved from this point where they are?
Well, I want to say absolutely, because any two people who work hard enough to make something work can. But I want to know the number. When you say that he took money out of the 401k and you're just learning about it, how much money are we talking about here?
25K, 25,000.
You said that you wanted to protect and provide.
Sure.
And what you did was you stole and you exposed. And so there are some real issues here.
Okay.
So I will not say absolutely. I will say we've got a lot of work to do.
Sure.
Look, we can beat this guy up all day, but I understood where he was coming from
Yeah.
because I'm that guy.
Yeah.
The mistake that was made was not sharing it with you. You could handle it a lot better. And I think you realize that now, Marcus,
Most definitely.
had you shared it with her.
Yes, sir.
So I understand. I can get him.
Yeah.
Because what Marcus is, he a comer. See, I was a comer. It just ain't nobody see me coming. Spirit, I know that you've got a few questions for the couple, so take it away.
How do you feel about what your husband has done at this point?
It makes me feel like one of the kids sometimes, like I'm living as like a daughter or not so much as like a wife. He's not a bad guy. It's just the communication that lacks.
Have you apologized to your wife yet?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And have you forgiven?
I know the answer to that. You can look at my face. Hell no.
The trust has been broken much like any other form of infidelity. You have a lot of work to do in terms of building a partnership, reestablishing trust and intimacy, and figuring out where you go from here.
Most definitely.
Okay, so how can they remedy all of this and move forward?
I would say formalize it. Every week, every month, for a while, have formal meetings where you sit down and you talk about your goals. Once you get used to having those fluid money conversations, it's not going to become a challenge anymore. It'll just come out. Yeah. And you should never feel intimidated to ask any kind of questions. There is no dumb question. You're not the child. Yeah. You are an adult woman. And I would just want to give you some advice too. As a stay-at-home mom, you're taking on a lot of responsibilities, but think about your exit strategy. When those kids are now full-time in school, how are you going to get back in the workforce? I want you making your own money, okay? Yeah. Very important for women to have financial independence in a marriage, outside of marriage, always. So I wish that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. You guys are in Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta. So I would love to extend to you the opportunity to work with me one-on-one in some real family counseling for you and your family to get you guys back on track. Okay?
Do you think you could keep Cherie in the loop of what's going on and get abreast of what's happening on? Would you have a problem with that?
I have no problem, Sharon.
I think what both of them are saying is spot on. You're a good guy. She knows that. But good people make bad mistakes all the time. But now, in order for this to work, you got to forgive him for real. Forgiving is not forgetting, but you can't bring it up no more. I don't want to see y'all break up over this because y'all got too much. So listen, Fanouche is one of the keynote speakers at my Vault conference on May 17th through the 19th. This conference is a learning hub for future leaders, entrepreneurs, and corporate visionaries. That's what I created it for. And because you're going to start doing things together as a couple, I'm going to be giving you all 2 tickets to attend my Vault conference in Los Angeles. And I'm going to cover your airfare, because I know you don't live here, and I'm going to cover the 2 nights at the hotel. How's that sound?
That sounds awesome.
So we're going to do it. We're going to start right there. Hey, listen, I want to thank you all for sharing your story with us. Very courageous of you. Hey, you made it to the end of this video. I got a lot more that you're going to enjoy, so just click to watch the next one. And make sure you subscribe to always know what's happening.